Hi, my rays of light. This is Psychic Medium Raymond Guzman, and today I'm going to be doing uh, just a psychic reading on Missy Elliott. This has been a reading that some of you have requested in the past, and she was on my list to do a psychic reading on, and I'm very excited. I've been a fan of hers for so many years. Back when she was with Aaliyah and Timbaland, and they were doing their thing, and then she came out, with her hits in the early 2000s. So she's had quite a career, quite extensive, and she's been through a lot too. It's never easy losing a friend like she lost when she lost Aaliyah. Um, and, I'm going to talk about everything that I see for her, how she felt towards Aaliyah's passing, and how she felt towards Aaliyah when Aaliyah was alive. Now, what I get immediately from Missy Elliott back in the time period that she was in, early on when before Aaliyah's passing in 2001, I do get like those years from 1999 to 2001 was like the peak time that she was the happiest in her life, even though she struggled, she has struggled with her weight and, other issues as well. I feel like, her, Timbaland, and Aaliyah were like the three musketeers. They were like the three musketeers, and all that energy was good in between them. And I feel like she was like the big sister to Aaliyah in many ways, and would, kind of give advice to Aaliyah about certain situations in the record company, and things that were being said about her, and the creative direction. Missy Elliott is someone who's very talented, and not just in her music, in her production of her music and her writing, but also in her demeanor, and artistically and conceptually, she puts this whole package together. She is the ultimate female rapper, singer, whatever you want to call her. She is the total package. Like you can see here in the picture, her hair is beautiful. It's, blue and black. So it's like she in her videos also, if you see a lot of the videos that were directed by producers, she put a lot of creativity into those. A lot of creativity was put into those videos. In her wardrobes and her fashion was always, when she first came out, was it Super Duper Fly? I remember that particular album, and I remember, how she was in her videos back then, with really short hair, and in that video, she was like a big, what was it, like a big trash bag, a bodysuit, kind of like real, I don't know how you would call that, but it was so cool. I remember looking at that and saying, she's so creative and just amazing. But life changes, and people change and they evolve. Now, when Aaliyah passed, I feel like like Missy Elliott doesn't come out and talk about this, but I do feel that there is something that she knows that she's not talking about Aaliyah's passing. Either she knows more or less who did it, who caused, that plane to crash, or she has been threatened in some kind of way. But I do feel like her absence from the music industry, she's not completely absent nowadays. She still is making, collaborating and helping other artists, but not at the magnitude that she was in the height of her career, which in the early 2000s, she was producing her own she was producing, and she was creating her own albums, and she was very successful with them and sold many copies. But something changed in between the like 2006, 2007. Something changed completely, and she did undergo a lot of weight loss. She cites it that, she was at risk for a stroke, but I also feel it was some kind of issue with her body beyond stroke. I feel like there was a lot of pressure from the industry for her to be successful. What they do to artists is tell them, they have to lose weight, they have to look a certain way. And I also feel like she did also take her health seriously, so there is some truth in that too, because of the fact that, since Aaliyah had passed in a tragic manner, I feel like there's some fear in her still about death. Like she doesn't fully accept or process death when it comes to, the concept of death. It's not something that she feels comfortable talking about. I do feel like it's something that she kind of is aware that it's a natural process, but there is a disconnection, a void in her heart, in her soul. I do believe like her and Aaliyah and Timbaland were actually soul family in another lifetime. I really do feel like they were all connected and were like brothers and sisters in another lifetime. I also feel like Aaliyah and her actually were soulmates at one time, as crazy as that's going to sound, were soulmates at one time as well in another past life. So I feel like the way that she would have looked at Aaliyah would have been a little bit more wanting more, or she was very curious, could it happen, could something happen ever? And like I said, that was like her baby sister in this lifetime, but I do feel like she had some kind of attraction or some kind of feelings for Aaliyah and took it very much hard. And when I get to her soul, like Missy, I feel like is empty inside, like she is void, like something is really missing in her life right now. And music is always going to be there, but what Spirit is showing me for her this year in particular is that there's a lot of battles that she's going through. I feel like this is depression. I feel like she's not in the best mental space. I feel like she does feel lonely at times. There's been rumors that she had married Shariah J, which is a Hawaiian, I believe, rapper or MC. She's a performing art, an artist, a performing artist, and she had actually collaborated on Little Mix's album for their song Stripped, I believe. And she's like in that song as well, Shariah J. But there was rumors that she had married Missy Elliott together, and Shariah J actually joined Goldmine, I believe, which is the production company that Missy Elliott has, created back in the day. But something happened in 2016, if I'm not mistaken, that Shariah left that company. But rumor has it that around 2015, 2016, sometime around that, a couple years ago, that they actually secretly got married. Whether there's any truth in that or not, I feel like there is some kind of, Shariah's doing her own thing and she's her own person. But I feel like with Missy, if she is in communications with her, or if they do have any kind of relationship, it is more like a friendship. So again, that comes to Missy's sexuality and, does she prefer guys? Does she prefer girls? It really doesn't matter. She's a beautiful soul. I feel like she has had her experiences, and that's what I'll say, with people, and she's just open, at this point to being happy, and I feel like that's what she really wants. And she's a prime example of what I've said before in some of my readings for some of these artists out there that really don't have any children. It's not necessarily that they don't want children. It's sometimes because that's not their life path. Does Missy have any regrets about that? I do feel like in many ways she does. She does wish that she had had a child, but I feel like she's no longer able to have one. If she would, it would be very difficult. She is at age 47, which most females at that age, it's not impossible, because we have Janet Jackson that gave birth, at an older age, but she's still considered young. 47 is still young, but there are, some difficulties at that age to kind of, and risks. The risks of pregnancies are much higher. But what I see for her right now is a lot of conflict in her life. At the same time, it's like she's fighting towards what she wants to do. I feel like she actually does want to come out with another album. I really do foresee her actually coming out with an album, but I feel like it's up in the air, and at a certain, being that she's a female rapper in this industry, whoever was responsible, like I said, who was responsible for Aaliyah's passing, I don't know if there's some fear, like they told her to get out of the music industry completely, or they've kind of pushed her away, but I feel like there's something not right, because the Missy Elliott that I know and the Missy Elliott that people know from the past was someone that's very passionate, and she was like Timbaland, in the studio and constantly releasing albums and stuff. But after Aaliyah's passing, and after, the 2005, 2006, something happened where Timbaland and her kind of just like went away after 2007. I would say it's almost like a pact that they would have done to kind of, kind of disappear a little bit from the music, not entirely, like I've said throughout this reading, but I feel like her and Timbaland are still in communication. They're still good friends, but nothing is the same, you know, and nothing is ever going to be the same after Aaliyah passed, and whatever has happened between them and these moguls in the record companies that they have been in, and people that have influential power in this industry that are on a darker vibration. Again, I feel like she doesn't see herself as being as successful as she could be. I feel like there's still a lot of people that look at Missy Elliott and they kind of want to write her off already, but she's not willing to kind of get out of the scene completely. It's like ever so often she will reemerge, but her passion, I would say, is not there. It's not in the music like it used to be. And you know, you can comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. I'm very curious to know what my rays of light that are listening think about this, you know. And I really do feel like her passion is more like in the artist, in the artistic side, the whether it's hair, makeup, you know, fashion. She's kind of more into that realm of, you know, expressing herself and is evolving as an artist. I don't feel like she can put out the music that she wants to. And again, I feel like there's this heavy male, this heavy energy that is a very masculine, authoritative energy over her. So I don't know if she's having debates or problems with someone in the record companies, or someone that distributes her music, or somebody that's threatened her in some kind of way. But there is something there. There's something there. I just can't explain it, but it's like, I feel like when someone is like oppressed by somebody else and they can't really move a finger or say anything because of fear of something's going to happen to them. So again, I feel like she is suppressing some kind of truth, something that she would like to say, but she can't say it. And there's this block over her and this control over her, this force. And it's a person that is alive. It is a male. I do feel it is someone that is African American. Like I said, there's just a lot of this. I feel like she's going to come out of this in the next 2 to 3 years, and she is going to be more vocal, more on TV. We are going to see a lot more of her having success financially. She's going to do okay. She's going to keep reaching for, you know, projects and things like that. But it is something right now where if she's not careful with her spending and things like that, you know, she can easily fall into the bankruptcy category. But I feel like that's not really going to happen, because again, she has this this passion to you know, not ever be at the level of somebody that is poor. Like, she doesn't fear poverty. But because she did come from that, but I do feel like she is never going to allow herself to be put back in that kind of place. So she is going to live comfortably. Whether or not she will adopt a child, you know, I don't feel like she will, but it's very possible if she is with the right person, and you know, that person does fulfill her spiritually, and mentally and psychologically. You know, it brings wellness to her. I do foresee, you know, that she will have someone in her life. I feel like right now, whoever she's in communication with, or seeing, or, you know, talking to, it's back and forth, back and forth. And again, these are problems on a deeper level with her. And I can't help but to feel some sadness when I'm tuning into her. I feel sadness, and it's not Aaliyah. It's not that I'm feeling. It's more of Missy. And I don't know. I just feel like she is missing her old self. Like, there is just something I can't really explain it, you know, and I never am stumped on a reading when it comes to these celebrities. And I'm not stumped with her, but I know that there is something there. Someone has, you know, she's not, apart from like the depression and her own inner struggles with body dysmorphia and her image, and not seeing herself as entirely beautiful there, you know, because she is beautiful inside and out, but there is something there that's like a deep depression. And I feel like part of it's depression, but like I said, there's somebody that is stifling her. It's very stifling, this type of situation. So I feel like whatever is in control or is there within 3 years from now, between now and 3 years, that ends, that situation ends, and she's entering into a new era, new a focus on her life. I also get there's a lot of connections to Egypt, so I don't know if she's been to Egypt or she collects things from Egypt, but there's a lot of Egyptian references that are coming from my spirit guides around her, showing me like the head of Cleopatra, like a bust of it, and other just Egyptian kind of culture. Like I feel like she's heavily into the she knows about spirit, you know, the occult and all that. So she does know about that, and spiritually, you know, I feel like she's someone that is aware of it, but I don't feel like she really wants to mess with a lot of that stuff. Like I said, something happened, and I want to say also that as I'm tuning in and channeling, and I'm and getting in tune to her energy, like I feel like in many ways she feels haunted. And I've said this before with Madonna's reading, very rare, you know, and even Lady Gaga, you know, some of these artists are haunted. I do feel like she is haunted, or she feels at one point she was haunted by spirits, and again, this kind of terrified her in many ways, and she's seen a lot of people come and go, so she's very walking on eggshells at this point in her life, and her health, I feel like, is up and down, up and down. But I do feel like she's getting to a place where we're going to see a little bit more of her. But everything will be strategic. We won't see a lot more. I feel like she won't put out maybe more than 2 more albums in her lifetime. If she puts out at least 2, because like I said, the future is not written in stone. Anything is subject to change, but what I'm getting is that she won't put out more than 2 albums, and one of those albums may be like you know, music that she's done before already, and that are her hits, and making them like a one hits album. But yeah, that's what I'm getting for Missy, and I wish her all the best of luck in all of her future endeavors and her, you know, her careers and things that she's going to be doing. And you know, and I wish that she would collaborate with Timbaland again. It would be great to, you know, have a track that they, like, he produced, or that they both, you know, co-produced. It would just be awesome. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in. If you did like this reading, please give it a thumbs up. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. If you would like to book a private psychic reading with me, you can go to my website at www.raymondguzman.net/shop. Blessings and love and light. Have an amazing, amazing night or day wherever you are in the world.